eating disorders have been around forever. And I think that there was just a lot of shame associated with them, and there still is. But I'm hopeful that we're becoming a lot more accepting and open to speaking about these experiences that many of us unfortunately go through. I think in the next 20 years, I'd really love to hear more young people's stories directly, because I think a lot of mental health, when you talk about it, it's often people talking about young people or for young people or to us, but it's not us speaking for ourselves. So there was an element of like body dysmorphia within the internalized racism that I had. And I think that that was unfortunately missed in a lot of my support and treatment. And a lot of my experience, at least, with eating disorders and mental health generally have come down to my sense of identity and control, whether it be like struggling with being queer or struggling coming from a multicultural background and not being around diverse people. I think when people think of seeking help for their mental health, you normally think of going to a psychologist, and maybe you're eligible for some sort of rebate from that, but it's that sort of system, and that seems to be the only pathway. But I think not many people see how many barriers there are to getting there, and it's not just, you know, the internalized stigma of I'm not good enough for help or anything like that. There's so many other barriers as well. There's not speaking the same language as your professional. There's not having the money to actually go there. There's so many different layers to mental health privilege, and I think it's really important that we don't see mental health support as a one-size-fits-all, that we very much like take a much more flexible approach and really tailor different approaches to different people. For me, I felt like I had tried everything under the sun with traditional supports, and it took a really long time for me to find something that was very tailored for me. So someone that really understood my cultural background and my gender identity and my sex identity. It took a very long time because I think traditional pathways are so rigid. And I was so lucky to find the Butterfly Foundation because people were sharing their real stories and experiences with eating disorders. And I think for me, I had never heard someone from, say, like my culture or my gender identity share their experiences. And it really felt like for the first time I was actually not alone, rather than people just kind of telling me that I wasn't. And I think that role modeling of vulnerability was life-changing for me. That's something that I really want to see in the next 20 years is more what's called lived experience leadership. So more young people actually being the leaders in their own journey and not just being kind of taken along for the ride.